Keysight Technologies and IIT Madras present AatmaNirbhar Bharat for 5G.
Hello and welcome to AatmaNirbhar Bharat for 5G presented by Keysight Technologies and IIT Madras in association with CNBC-TV18, a 5G thought leadership summit where we will explore a journey to future. Sounds a bit out of sync, but the very fact that we are hosting this show from our home is where the future has advanced. I am Kumardeep Banerjee, and the connecting dots to a new tomorrow begins with technology, specifically wireless connectivity. India celebrates 25 years of mobility this year and has seen a huge technological shift from landlines to high-speed internet over the air. Now, the next generation of mobility and technology, also known as 5G, awaits. Let's take a look at what it entails and how it will play out from the tech leaders ushering in the new connected Bharat.
Welcome to the future of communications. Welcome to 5G. Billions of IoT devices, autonomous driving vehicles, interactive stadiums, connected cities, and scores of new applications and services yet to be imagined. 5G merges the best of cellular technology and the internet with more bandwidth, faster applications, and countless connected devices. Chipset producers, smartphone makers, network equipment manufacturers, and service providers are gearing up to build and deploy the new 5G standards, designing for new spectrum, expanded waveforms, and emerging traffic patterns. 5G changes everything, but everything must change. New designs, new measurements, new tests. We're getting ready. You should too. The era of 5G is here.
The time could not have been more opportune to move to the next level of connectivity when most of the world is working from home and all the work gets done with great broadband connection. Perhaps that is what the future entails. Keysight Technologies supported IIT Madras and recently signed a memorandum of understanding as they have developed a new radio interface technology, also known as low mobility large cell model, which will ensure seamless high-speed connectivity for rural areas where other infrastructure may be constrained. This is a step towards an AatmaNirbhar digital Bharat. This new indigenous solution developed by IIT Madras with some other institutes for 5G technology will ensure children in villages can attend virtual classrooms like their city counterparts. Best of doctors are available for consultation in the remotest corners of the country, and many other cutting-edge tech solutions are made available to the village artisans and farmers. Now, to understand a bit more about this nimble and agile 5G technology and its benefits, especially for rural India, I now invite President Communications Solutions Group and Senior Vice President of Keysight Technologies, Sri Satish Dhanasekaran, for a keynote address.
Congratulations to India on achieving 25 years of mobility. What a world of difference the telecom industry has made in enriching and empowering an entire society during this time. Special congratulations are due to research institutes such as IIT Madras and the entire telecom industry in the country for the progress that's been made in developing mobility in the country, but also in some of the work that's currently occurring to enable the next frontier of connectivity through adoption of 5G. I am pleased to see the strong focus that is placed from Indian research institutes to make rural use cases a top priority and enable the country to realize the fullest potential of a digital society. Around the world and in India, academic institutes working closer with the industry is a formula that's enabling the promise of 5G to be realized. Keysight, as a leading provider of design and test solutions around the world, has been instrumental in enabling the adoption of 5G technology around the globe and in India. In India in particular, we have over 1,200 employees working to enable this vision for the country. We're very pleased to be collaborating with Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, and other agencies to enable interoperability and design standards to be implemented across the multitude of technology domains that 5G represents.
We would now like to invite the people behind the development of this indigenous technology and partners to Keysight Technology Solution Providers, IIT Madras. The technology developed by IIT Madras fulfills the requirements of affordable connectivity in rural, remote, and sparsely populated areas. We invite Professor Bhaskar Ramamurthy, Director, IIT Madras, to share his thoughts.
IIT Madras is delighted to be partnering with Keysight on an important 5G project. IIT Madras is in the forefront of 5G research. We participate in global standardization. We're also building, in collaboration with 7 other institutions in the country, a complete 5G technology testbed. We are also the national coordinator for the multi-institutional testbed project. Keysight is one of the main partners. We use a lot of their test equipment in building this testbed. And we are now extending our partnership to include in Keysight test equipment some important features of the emerging 5G standard, the RIT that was been pioneered by the Indian Telecom Standards Body, which has some enhancements to improve rural coverage. So Keysight will be working with us to provide support for testing these new features in the 5G standard. We really look forward to this relationship, to working well and working fast to enable Keysight to provide the solutions required for 5G technology development to happen at the fastest possible in the country and rollouts to happen even faster than that, so that every Indian in every corner of the country does not have to think twice before they can reach out for high quality, reliable internet connectivity. Look forward to working with Keysight on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Ramamurthy. And to talk a little bit more about the road ahead and emergence of India as a 5G leader, we now invite our chief guest, Honorable Secretary, Department of Telecommunications, Shri Anshu Prakash, for a special address.
In the last 1.5 years, we have formed a consortium of leading academic institutions and scientific organizations who together can work towards giving India a 5G testbed and 5G technology. This consortium is led by IIT Chennai, or IIT Madras as it was always called, and it has IIT Bombay, IIT Kanpur, IIT Hyderabad, IIT Delhi, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, Samir, and CEVIT. Government has sanctioned an amount of rupees 224 crores for this project. I'm happy that this project is doing well, and our 5G testbed, I'm told, will be ready sometime by March, April next year. And the indigenous 5G technology, and this inspiration we draw from the Honorable Prime Minister, who has repeatedly emphasized on AatmaNirbhar Bharat.
Keysight Technologies and IIT Madras present AatmaNirbhar Bharat for 5G.
Buy Care Health Insurance. Over 23 lakh claims settled. Care Health Insurance.
Amid the pandemic, India's biggest marketing case study challenge returns. And this year, we are going entirely digital. Find out more as we launch the 12th season of Lessons in Marketing Excellence at these times only on CNBC-TV18.
What a journey it has been capturing the stories of young entrepreneurial Indians and taking that story forward.
Shireen, your contribution to the startup scene in India has been seminal because you have given them a platform, you have publicized their effort, you have given them encouragement.
Shireen, 18 in a year, you'll be not a teenager anymore. I congratulate you on the success and more importantly, your enthusiastic promotion of entrepreneurship.
Tune in, scale up, stand out, Young Turks, at these times.
The most definitive voices.
The lockdown was absolutely necessary while we put in place our infrastructure.
The rise in cases in India is still modest compared to very steep hikes in other countries.
The warriors in the front lines.
You need extensive testing, and you need to see a decline in the infection rate.
The biggest story of our times needs gravity.
This is not a one-country problem. It requires a global response.
Watch Brass Tacks with Zaka Jacob, only on CNN News 18.
There's only one brand that can claim all the numbers and has a stronghold on all positions. Only one brand that can boast of total supremacy and has been attracting record viewership numbers for the past 20 years. CNBC-TV18 is India's #1 English business news channel. Clear your weekend for an investing masterclass with 60 minutes of uninterrupted investing advice and all your queries answered directly by the market masters. Tune in to CNBC-TV18 and learn how to invest like a pro every weekend with the CNBC-TV18 Investment Hour at these times. Every day, our team of reporters tells you how India is restarting.
The pandemic has increased online sales. Farmers started adopting technology.
Hotel industry is slowly getting back to this new normal.
How businesses are unlocking.
Salons here in Chennai have recorded business for 17 days between 2 lockdowns.
Karnataka allowed gyms to reopen. Mumbai is limping back to normalcy.
And how lives and livelihoods are rebuilding.
Hospitality industry awaits vaccine.
Dharavi slums have brought coronavirus spread under control. TV production houses have started shoot.
Tune into CNBC-TV18 as we bring you the India story every day.
India has done something phenomenal. 343 of the country's 720 districts are still COVID-free. We have to impress upon the migrant workers around us that they are safe. This is the fight against COVID-19. At this time, we have to ensure that we look at that destination post the 3rd of May.
The Right Stand, only on CNN News 18.
There is scope for bringing down the cost of power to give a boost to our industry so that it becomes competitive.
You make in India, but don't look at only the domestic market, but penetrate global market.
With Bangalore, Karnataka, Chennai opening up, I'm confident that we will get the bulk of civil aviation domestic traffic back.
Every day, CNBC-TV18 tells you how India is unlocking, how businesses are reviving and rebuilding the nation. Dell presents Restarting India.
Presented by Dell, expert advice and tailored solutions to keep your small business ready for what's next.
Keysight Technologies and IIT Madras present AatmaNirbhar Bharat for 5G.
Keysight Technologies and IIT Madras are propelling this vision of AatmaNirbhar Bharat for 5G. But what does this connected future look like, and how will the benefits of technology drive GDP growth? To discuss on this, we are joined today by Professor Bhaskar Ramamurthy, Director, IIT Madras, Lieutenant General S.P. Kochhar, Director General, COAI, Shri K. Ramchand, Member Technology, Department of Telecommunications, Ms. Pamela Kumar, Director General, Telecom Standards Development Society of India, Mr. Satish Dhanasekaran, President, Communications Solutions Group, and Senior Vice President of Keysight Technologies. I welcome you all to this discussion on AatmaNirbhar Bharat for 5G. Let me begin by asking Professor Bhaskar, sir, could you provide us an overview of this low mobility, large cell requirements that have been introduced in ITU, and how will they help in improving rural connectivity in India?
5G standardization, first, all the countries get together and specify the requirements that have to be met. Till this was done for 5G, the only rural requirement in the earlier technologies of 2G, 3G, and 4G was to have the ability for vehicles moving at up to 120 kilometers per hour on highways to remain connected. India, on the other hand, and many other countries like India, I dare say, has a large nomadic rural population moving, if at all, at lower speeds, but spread out throughout the country. We have probably 700, 800 million people living in this manner. And in other words, they are characterized by low mobility. And they are spread out, so the cells in which the towers provide you the connectivity, have to be larger. They have to cover not just along the road, but entire areas. And this requirement, which is very important for India's rural population, has never been a requirement of any standard till now. In ITU, India, with the technical inputs provided by TSDSI, made sure that one of the requirements of 5G technology, whichever is approved as an acceptable 5G standard, is that it should provide good coverage, broadband coverage, for the low mobility user who is spread out over a relatively large cell of a few kilometers in radius.
Now let me turn over to Sri Satish and ask, how is Keysight collaborating with academic institutions such as IIT Madras to enable development of new radio standards which can benefit standardization bodies in India as well as across the world?
Well, thank you. I think it starts for us with a vision for the ecosystem. Anytime you want to roll out a new vision, a new technology such as 5G, it takes an entire village, as they say, but it starts with the academic visionaries like we have at IIT Madras with the rural mobility use case, which is different than, let's say, the smartphone-based use case that's being deployed around the world globally. So it starts there, but it also takes joint partnerships with chipset companies, with the operators, the NEMs, and device makers, so that you're really moving an entire ecosystem forward. So when you're there, everybody is synchronized, and that synchronization occurs, at the standards body. So we work across this entire food chain to enable these technologies to be rolled out by providing interoperability and design capability. And often that early work that we do has to be in partnership with leading research institutes. In this case, the work we have started with IIT is a very important one for us.
And let's now turn towards the industry and get the industry viewpoint. Let me turn across to Lieutenant General Kochhar. Sir, with your rich experience and strong collaboration both in academia and industry, how do you think these new radio standards can benefit urban as well as rural areas?
Thank you. Let me start by saying that anything which is Indian is welcome. If we have to become self-sufficient, we have to start somewhere, and this is a good initiative. And let me congratulate the people who have been involved in this. Having said that, I am also very pleased to say that the industry will also welcome this initiative. We are happy that Indian standard is being developed, and what Satish said is very relevant. that research always starts with academics.
Thank you, Lieutenant General Kochhar. And now let me turn across to Ms. Pamela Kumar and ask the question that what is the role of standards development organizations such as TSDSI and the motivation behind introducing a new radio interface technology?
TSDSI has been created so that India has a voice in standards, whether it is to take our requirements, and LMLC is one such example, that we have taken our requirement of rural connectivity, which is very unique.
Thank you, Ms. Pamela Kumar. We have here with us Shri K. Ramchand, who is from the Department of Telecommunications. Sir, if I can turn to you and ask, how far are we towards spectrum allocation and seeing 5G on ground?
Okay. First of all, let me clarify that the spectrum assignment being done by DOT is technology agnostic. So the present bands being used for 2G, 3G, 4G technologies can also be used for 5G. Having said that, let me tell that we are guided mainly by the WRC regulations. And based on the WRC 19 recommendations, we are going to look at 3 bands for 5G technology. We have not yet drafted the spectrum policies for 5G technology separately, but we will be working on these 3 bands.
Let me now, turn my attention to Lieutenant General Kochhar and straight away ask, sir, what are the industry's expectations and wish list from government and policymakers such as Sri Ramchand, who is present on this panel, for ensuring 5G use cases reach all parts of the country, sir?
See, what has come out very clearly from this discussion is that this is a new technology. It's a paradigm shift, what Pamela rightly said. It is not an upgradation of 2G to 3G to 4G. This is a paradigm shift. And it is going to affect our lives as never before and across all sectors. So therefore, we are entering into an area where the use cases cannot be defined today. You cannot visualize how many will be the use cases, how much of that can be monetized, how much of that cannot be monetized. And therefore, going ahead, we also must realize that there would be huge amount of investments required in this rollout. And those investments will primarily come from the industry. The government cannot afford, nor is it expected to invest so heavily into this sector alone, because there are many more areas which require their attention. Now, having said that, we are quite sure, and the panel has brought it very efficiently, that the efficiency of the nation and the economic well-being of the nation will be grossly increased by use of 5G. If that is the case, then it is necessary that 5G gets rolled out the fastest and we start looking for use cases.
Let me turn across to Professor Bhaskar. Sir, there have been a lot of discussions about dynamic spectrum sharing between 4G and 5G. What do you think about the impact of this, and how convenient do you think it would be for India, sir?
So, dynamic spectrum sharing is a technique that enables operators who have to do a transition from a huge 4G subscriber base to a 5G subscriber base as subscribers move from 4G to 5G phones. How do you manage this transition? Right? So you have a certain amount of spectrum. You have to sort of move the spectrum use from 4G to 5G. So what dynamic spectrum sharing enables an operator to do is, in a chunk of spectrum, to operate both 4G and 5G together and move the needle depending on the mix of subscriber phones that exists in that geography.
Now let me turn across to Satish from Keysight Technologies and ask him, what role does Keysight can play while we move towards 5G deployment?
There is no doubt there is plenty of action in 5G left. It's still very early days. And for Keysight, the way we think about it is, how can we help the seamless realization of this technology to deployment of mass scale to really make benefits to society beyond just making our smartphone use cases better, which is exciting as an individual. But I think the real value is the potential the technology holds for the broad masses, and really bridging this digital divide that exists around the world. I think it's got a lot of potential for society. And the first wave of technology is the low frequency wave, which we think is evolutionary from a deployment perspective, and technologies such as DSS help. And we're helping a number of countries deploy DSS today. But when you move beyond that, it's a completely revolutionary realm with adoption of higher frequencies, moving into new use cases, which takes a different approach. And so our approach is to really create a technology platform that enables design and test tools to be deployed for the entire life cycle with an end-to-end approach, as I mentioned before. And it's not done with just 5G. As we know, human progress train continues on, despite the fact that we all thought we didn't need who needed a phone, and then who needed a cell phone, and now who needs 4G, and now who needs 5G. And so there will be 6G beyond this as well, and we're already working with 6G flagship teams around the world to really define the next frontier of communication, which is moving beyond these use cases to more immersive experiences, so that programs like this could be had with more holographic experience of being live versus this connection.
Thank you all. And before we leave you, we would like you to take a look at the video on Keysight World 2020.
Technology connects us all.